Yo, welcome everyone. The breakout out of this rising wedge pattern is probably going to fail. Be ready, and I think it's quite smart for us to take some profits on our trades. Let me show you why. Now, for the past couple of days, Bitcoin is seeing a very nice bounce towards the upside. Surprisingly or maybe not, we hit the biggest volume cluster of the entire upper price section because Bitcoin hit the point of control, the red line, at 107.5 thousand US dollars, and right now we are seeing a bounce slightly bigger than 2% towards the upside. And also, yesterday on Twitter, I even told you that probably a push towards the upside is going to happen sooner rather than later. And even today, once you pay attention to the order flow, once we are going to pay attention to the liquidations, I am going to share with you why ideally I want to see higher targets in the next couple of hours. But nevertheless, let us right now focus on the rising wedge pattern that a lot of people are also right now paying attention to. I would actually say like that, because of this specific bullish indication, because of the bullish order flow, and also because of the liquidations, I want to see another push toward the upside for Bitcoin to then finally finish the fifth and the last Elliott wave towards the upside. Now, here is something that you really need to be aware of. Once Bitcoin is going to be trading above the liquidation cluster at approximately 110.7 thousand US dollars, here is already where you should pay very close attention. Because trust me, once the price is moving higher, people are getting more bullish. Once the price is moving lower, people are also getting more bearish. So that is why usually majority is buying high and selling low. But of course, we are trying to buy low and sell high. So probably a lot of people are going to try and long the breakout out of the rising wedge pattern, and also they are going to be expecting another significant impulse towards the upside, towards another all-time high. That is why they're probably going to be trapped in a brand new long or a buy position exactly at the all-time high. However, usually we try to be one step ahead of everyone. So we know rising wedge pattern is right now probably forming, and additionally, Bitcoin is going to hit a very important liquidity level at 110.7 thousand US dollars. We are going to be finishing our fifth Elliott wave, and additionally, you should really be aware of the RSI indicator in a case we are going to be forming another lower high. So if Bitcoin does form another higher high right here, lower high on the RSI, it is going to be a bearish divergence, bearish Bitcoin indication, and only then probably we are not going to see a successful breakout out of the rising wedge pattern, but actually a rejection and maybe even a bigger collapse. That is why I am telling to you, make sure you're paying yourself with your long positions. If you're right now in a long on Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever crypto you're right now holding a long position on, I would definitely say it is quite smart for us to pay ourselves in a case the rising wedge pattern is right now going to play out. That is why right now make sure you're smashing up the like button, because 1,300 likes are really imminent, and also thank you for subscribing to the channel. Let me do share with you why ideally I want to see higher targets in the next couple of hours, because a lot of people are entering brand new short or sell positions. Bitcoin for the past couple of hours, it is still forming very nice higher lows. We see the high right here, higher low, higher high, higher low, and also another higher high. Look right now at the CVD indicator. This specific indicator is measuring if brand new selling or buying pressure is coming in the market. If it's seeing a push towards downside, more selling pressure is coming in the market, and right now, think logically. If people are selling Bitcoin, wouldn't it be logical for us to be seeing also a push towards downside? Of course it would be, but the thing is, the selling pressure that is coming in is being absorbed by bigger players, which is actually going to be a bullish Bitcoin indication. Additionally, pay attention to the open interest indicator. The open interest is measuring if brand new money is coming or leaving the market, if people are opening brand new trades or closing the trades. And the open interest is also seeing a push towards the upside. So what does that actually mean? people are at the area where we are as of right now, entering brand new short or sell positions, but they are not successful pushing the price lower, which is going to be, of course, a bullish Bitcoin indication. Now, the reality is, yes, we did hit the first very important area of resistance. Bitcoin is as of right now trading at the daily high term time frame level, aligning very nicely also with the golden Fibonacci ratio, and also, if you look like that, measuring the entire upper price action, we hit the value area high. So clearly, people are shorting the resistance level, which in my opinion, it is definitely better than going with a long position right here. However, then you need to ask yourself, if we are right now seeing this specific bullish divergence on the CVD indicator, would I right now actually fire another short position? To be honest, not really. Yes, we did hit a very important level, and yes, a lot of people are right now shorting Bitcoin. However, they are not successful pushing the price lower. That is why ideally I want to see another push towards the upside on Bitcoin to happen literally in the next couple of hours, at least for BTC to form another higher high at approximately 109.7 thousand US dollars, or ideally for us to then actually finish the bigger rising wedge pattern and for us to finish the fifth elite wave, maybe even at approximately 111,000 US dollars. Now, let me also share with you why ideally I want to see higher targets to be reached in the next couple of hours. Pay attention to the liquidation clusters, because once we go on the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on the 1 week time frame, the biggest liquidation cluster is not going to be below our recent lows right here, but actually above the recent highs at 110.6 thousand US dollars. Now, the truth is, if we are going to zoom in a little bit on the 3-day time frame, you're going to see that yes, also big liquidations are coming in exactly below our recent lows at approximately 107,000 US dollars, where 50 million of long positions are going to be liquidated. However, the reality is, once we zoom out, the biggest liquidation cluster, when we are talking about the most amount of people getting wrecked, is not below the lows, but actually above the highs, because over 130 million of short positions are going to be wrecked and completely liquidated. That is why I am telling to you, ideally, I want to see higher targets on Bitcoin. At least this specific high to be taken out, or for Bitcoin to go even higher, hit the 110.6 thousand US dollar area, and only then for the rising wedge pattern to actually see a break towards downside. That is why right now I am doing a 200 US dollar giveaway. Look for the tweet I posted only 2 hours ago where I said, "Good morning to the bulls with patience. The bears are running out of narratives." Comment what you think is going to happen with Bitcoin, comment your Bitcoin price prediction, and in the exact same comment, make sure you include your BitUnix UID. If you don't already have a BitUnix account, make sure you click the second link down below in the description. You're going to get some free bonuses, no KYC, no VPN, and only after you register, you are going to get a 10 USDT free bonus, but this specific campaign is valid only for the first 300 users. Then comment your Bitcoin price prediction and include your BitUnix UID with a comment, and good luck to you. Tomorrow I am going to announce the winner of the 200 US dollar giveaway. Now let's also talk about another bearish Bitcoin indication we can see on the 4-hour time frame on the Achler stochastic CG oscillator. As you probably know, at least in my opinion, the Achler stochastic CG oscillator is one of the best indicators you can always pay attention to before Bitcoin is seeing a bigger reversal towards the upside or towards the downside. Last time we have gotten a double bottom pattern, Bitcoin literally pumped back towards the upside, but as of right now, we are clearly forming a bearish indication because the Achler stochastic CG oscillator is seeing a double top pattern. So would I right now say that Bitcoin is already going to see a rejection back down because of this bearish indication? To be honest, not really. Ideally, I first of all want to see higher. As I said before, at least another higher high above 109.7 thousand US dollars, or ideally for Bitcoin to go even above this specific high, finish the rising wedge pattern and only then do see a bigger push towards upside. However, yes, this specific thing right here on the 4-hour time frame, the double top pattern, is definitely already right now a bearish Bitcoin indication. Now, on the other hand, what if we pay attention to the RSI indicator and the money flow indicator on the 1-hour time frame? You're actually going to see we are forming higher lows on Bitcoin, lower lows on money flow, lower lows on the RSI indicator. So on the other hand, we are seeing hidden bullish divergences taking place on both of those indicators, which is clearly going to be a bullish Bitcoin indication. So if we right now say generally, we have more bullish indications versus bearish indications, and that is why ideally, I first of all want to see another push up, at least above this specific high, or as I said before already, another higher high at $111,000. Now, additionally, we need to go with the CME futures chart because clearly Bitcoin right now does have the CME futures gap at approximately $108,800, and this specific gap is only going to be filled once Bitcoin does see a push towards downside. So right now, once again, logically thinking, a lot of people are paying attention to the CME gap, and that is why a lot of people are also entering brand new short positions. So how to react the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time? By not filling the gap first, by first of all seeing a push towards the upside, get them liquidated, maybe even for us to go with the liquidation cluster right here at $110,600, and only then do see a rejection back towards upside for us to fill the gap, for us to react the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time. That is why I am telling to you, in the next couple of hours, ideally, I want to see first of all a push toward the upside. Let's see what we are going to be getting at this specific high, but once again, ideally, I want to see Bitcoin to finish the bigger rising wedge pattern, where we are going to be paying ourselves, where we are going to be taking some profits of our long positions, and only then potentially fire another short or a sell position on the Bitcoin price itself. Now, to be honest, yes, entering a short position, it is still going to be slightly more risky because we are going against the trend. However, if we are then going to see some maybe even bearish absorption happening, if maybe then we are also going to see some bearish divergences on the RSI indicator, I would still definitely say looking for a short or a sell position on Bitcoin is going to be a valid trading idea with, of course, proper risk management. That is why enter a free $200 bonus giveaway by commenting your Bitcoin price prediction and including your BTC UID with the exact same comment. And of course, if you don't already have an account, make sure you create one without KYC, without VPN, because only after you register, you're going to get 10 USDT. And then also you can deposit on your account because you're going to get a 20% deposit bonus. But also right now, thank you for smashing up the like button.